Okay. Hi guys. So this is the class kit that you guys will be receiving when you get your microbits. Okay. Inside the box, you're going to have your microbits. They're going to be the version 2s. You're going to have your battery packs, USB cables, and your batteries. Okay. And I'm just going to open up the box and show you what everything looks like. So we have our cables, we have our battery packs, we have some stickers per device if you wish to give your students, AAA batteries per device also, getting started guide, a little holder which you can spend a little bit of time working on an activity with that, and most importantly we have then the Microbit device itself, which comes in this little anti-static bag, which I would recommend to keep. So I'm going to open one up here, and you're going to see it. Hopefully Dan will zoom in on camera number 3 here and show you what the Microbit actually looks like up close. Okay, so we have 2 sides. Side A and side B are the front and the back. And I'm just going to run over very, very quickly what some of these components actually are here. So you'll see on this side, we have 25 LEDs in a little 5x5 matrix there. We have an A button and a B button. We have a touch sensor here. We have a very small little microphone just there in the left-hand corner. So that picks up any audio. Flip it around to the other side. We have a USB cable to connect it into the computer. We have a reset button. We've a way to connect it into our battery pack. And then we've got lots and lots of various sort of components here that we can all get access to then using the Make Code block website. We have a processor here. We have a speaker, we have an accelerometer and a compass there, so the Microbit can detect whenever it's being moved. Bluetooth and a radio antenna here so that it can connect with other devices. And what I'd like to show you today is just how you can actually get this Microbit connected to a computer or a device that's in your school. So we have our USB cable, but I'm going to actually just use a slightly longer one. And this is just like anything, like connecting any device to any computer. Connect it into the micro USB socket into the small end, and then the USB socket then will go into your device, into your PC or your Mac or your Surface tablet. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get Dan to flick me over to my computer screen here. And we're at a website called makecode.microbit.org. So it might be worthwhile taking that down if you have pen and paper now, because that is how we're actually going to get inside our Microbit. So very quickly, I'm going to start some code. Okay, I'm going to jump into a brand new project, and I'm going to be prompted there for the name of the project. So I'm just going to give it today's date, name 28th November 2023. And we can click create straight away here. And then we're brought into the Make Code screen. We have a little wizard here that'll bring you through each of what the areas are, but I think I can do that job myself a little bit quicker than this, and I'll maybe go in a little bit more depth into some of the more interesting areas. Okay. Basically, we have sort of 3 columns in our screen here. We have the Microbit itself that we can code and we can see what's happening. We have our toolbox with all of our blocks of code. If you've used Scratch before, you'll be very familiar with what this is. And then over on this side here, we have our workspace area where we can code. Then we have our toolbar along the top, home, share. If we want to view our code in different ways, we can do it like that. And then finally on the bottom here, this little toolbar along the bottom, we have ways that we can save and export and share our code. So what I'd like to do now is just very quickly show you how you can actually run code, test it in MakeCode, and then flash it over to your Microbit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out some of the code that's already here. Okay. Just to show you that that's how you clear out your workspace. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into this Basic tab, blue, on the very top, and I'm going to go back down here. You'll see you've got about 6 or 7 main components of code that you can bring in. I'm going to bring in this one here that says on start, okay? And you'll see that it's shaped in such a way that you might want to slot some code into this area that says on start, okay? So currently we have no code other than an on start. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to basic, and I want my Microbit to show an icon. So you'll see here in our blue tab, we have show icon. If I bring it into my workspace and I just drop it in to here, you'll see that it goes gray. So that means that we have code, we have brought it in, but it's not active yet. And I can activate it by then connecting it into my on start loop. Okay, and you'll see here it says now on start show icon, and you should be able to see there that it has a little heart. And now corresponding on the other side of my screen, you'll see my Microbit showing a heart. Okay, and what I can do now is I can actually flash that over to my Microbit itself. Okay, and to do that, we can click this download button. Okay. And you'll see now on my Microbit, if you go to camera 2 or camera 3 there, Dan, you should see there that we have our heart showing on our device. Okay, so that'll run there. It'll stay there until I tell it to stop. So I'm going to go back in to my code. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the heart, and I'm going to remove my on start. Okay. I'm going to click on basic, and I'm going to show you maybe a slightly different way that we can tweak this code. So rather than bringing in my on start, this time I'm going to bring in a forever loop. I'm going to go back to basic. I'm going to bring in an icon, my heart. Okay. And I'm going to bring in another icon, which is a way for me now to animate this heart. I can turn it from a still heart into a beating heart, like so. Okay, give my screen just a little second, and you'll see then on my emulator screen on the left that my LED heart is now beating. And if I click on download, as I've done before with my previous block of code, it should overwrite the code that I have. And now on camera number 3, you should see there, it's a little bit glary, but you can still make it out that I have a beating heart on my LED screen on the physical device itself. Okay, so it's on the screen in the MakeCode workspace, but it's also on the Microbit device itself. Okay, and one final block of code. I want to get you guys aware that there's buttons on your Microbit and how can we get access to them. So back in my MakeCode screen, I'm going to remove the code, and I want my code now, I want my Microbit to say my name with text whenever I press my A and my B button. So I'm going to go into a new category, purple category called Input, and you'll see the very top block has, it says on it, on button A pressed. Okay? And again, like before, there's nothing inside that's under it. So we need to go and grab some code and put it in there. Okay, I'm going to go into my basic block. And rather than showing an icon, I'm going to show a string. Okay? And a string is just a computational term for a piece of text. Okay? And I'm going to say that whenever I tap my A button on my Microbit device, I want the string Jamie to show on my device. But at the same time, I want another loop to run and this time I'm going to say on B button. So you can change it from A to B and to A and plus B. Okay, but I'm going to say when the B button's pressed, I'm going to say I want it to show the string of my second name. Okay, so a really nice Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2 activity to get your students writing really simple loops, but at the same time getting access to it on a Microbit. So I'm going to jump over now to the Microbit in my Make Code screen, and I'm just going to test this before I flash my Microbit device. You'll see here we have an A and a B button on screen, so hopefully if I tap A, you'll see Jamie should scroll along the screen, and if I tap the B button, my surname, Kelly, should show along the screen also. And like before, if we want to test this out on the Microbit device itself, I can click on download, let it download on my screen, and then you'll see that whenever I go to show you guys on camera number 3 here, we have our A button is on my right hand side here and my B button is here. So there's currently nothing happening on my Microbit. It won't happen until I tap A, and you'll see my string of Jamie scroll across my screen, and if I tap B, my surname will come across the screen. So A, sorry, is my forename, and B then is my surname. Okay. Okay, if we wanted to here, you've seen we have A and we have B, but we can go into input and we can grab another one. We can have a third input. We can have A and B. Okay, so if we have A and B, what I can do now is I can change my LEDs then to show an icon, or what I can do is I can come out and I can draw something of my own. Okay, so I can pop in a smiley face, like so. So you have your 5x5 LED grid here, allows you and your students then to draw any icon that you wish. Okay, and if I then let my Make Code screen load up here, you'll see now I have a third option has popped up on my Microbit emulator, A plus B. So if I tap A, we get my forename, surname, and then if I tap A plus B, we will then receive the icon that I just drew. Okay, and finally, we can take that and we can download it then onto our device. And just like before, we have A, we have B, and then Dan, if you can just zoom in there for the crescendo here, smiley face whenever we tap A and B. Okay, so to go back into Make Code, just want to show you a few extra things that you might want to keep an eye out for. We have lots and lots of different types of code that we can add. We can add in music. We can connect multiple microbits together using our radio commands. We can also, if you wish, to show your Key Stage 2 students some real code, so not the block style code. If we want to show them some Python, we can tap on Python, and what will happen, you will see now the block code has switched over to show Python. Okay, so that's a really nice lead in there to Key Stage 3. And if you want to go even further, there's a third language, JavaScript. Okay? We can also then save our code. We can click the little save icon, download it onto your folder onto your computer, so then you can re-upload it whenever you wish. And that's that. Remember too that you can also create your C2k accounts, lock them, or connect them with Make Code here so that you can save all of your files in online and you can get access to them anytime that you want. So that's my section done, and we're going to go back to, resources. I'm just being told to go to some resources here. So we can show off some of our resources here. If we go to Google and type in BBC Microbit, the Microbit website is just microbit.org. Go in here and we have tons and tons of getting started help files from foundation stage right up to Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4, and arguably Key Stage 5. We have project files that are sitting, waiting and ready to go. You'll see there that I have done these first two with you today. I've done the heart and the beating heart. And if you click into each of these, again, step-by-step video on how it all works. And as teachers and educators, then we can then go in and we can see the code that we can use with our students, task them with that, and get using your Microbit. Okay? So I would recommend checking out microbit.org and trying to find something that you can do, link it in with a task or an activity or an area in the curriculum, and see what you can come up with. And that's me, thank you.